Hello, and welcome back, viewers. Welcome back, River. If you're watching, you seem to be watching a lot of my videos. I love that. That is awesome. I hope you're enjoying these. Well, I mean, excuse me. I love the fact that you're so interested in what I'm up to. It's sweet. So interested in what I'm up to in a good way. I'm gonna shut up. I'm not. I mean interest in my work. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. All right. Hmm. Let's see. Pull that artifact there. Um. Shoot. I'm gonna reload that because there's absolutely no reason for that unit can always move in without fail if there's our unit there. So that was order of, order the units move in. Gah! All right, the scout patrol can't move now. Let's place this unit on alert for a turn. I need to make sure this is the designated defender. So the only artifact, even though it's got more health, won't be attacked because it's not something I would want to risk. Yeah, anytime you try and move into a xenofungus tile, there's a chance of that happening of spawning a mindworm. Mindworm. You'll get that reference at some point. There's a book Pravenwall writes called Mindworm in this game. Move that fungus. These guys go on alert. Oop. Arrgh. Man, I suppose it doesn't hurt to have. I'll try moving them again next turn.
Bot recovered.
Gah! A dimensional gate over here? Well, I guess it helps ensure I don't lose the artifact in the way. Back. Ah, a monolith. Investigate, because I really don't want to lose this uni rover. It's now hardened. Just gonna patrol on the way back. Just gonna patrol here. Yeah, I'm gonna send this rover back, or actually these guys haven't need to get hardened. Probably should have moved that unit first in case it failed to move.
Turn complete.
And this scout patrol needs to be a designated defender. That tile. Right then. Excuse me. I want to hurry these formers probably next turn because I really need to get on the weather paradigm right away.
Turn complete.
Cool. UN Civil Rights Agency, basically. I'll keep the name of Civil Rights because otherwise the name will roll again. But it's really an agency. UN Defense Command, UN Headquarters, Planetary Trust, World Health Organization. Alright. Yeah, just double checking the assignments. Time to grow, everyone. Cool, all good. How do I know that that mine were moved there when it's out of sight entirely? Alright, it's probably didn't go onto the river. Problems. Made this a designated defender for when it goes into the base later.
Terraform complete.
This is gonna work its way up the river. Hmm. Pull the artifact back to base. There's also a scout patrol defending it. Scout patrol defends the formers. This scout rover. Sooner rover upgrade. It does soak its movement though. The scout rover, a designated defender. This rainy tile here can be host to another work this instead once the sensor rays. Also less eco damage in theory. Host to a mine soon. Actually, I should have moved the scout out there first, so if it failed, keep screen stuff like this up. And pay one of these days. All right. Micro. Export stuff here. Ah, Unipod.
Indigenous light turn complete.
Curses! It's got mine worms. It's actually positioned where it could reach that. Scout patrol if I'm not careful. Alrighty then.
Request confirmation.
25 energy. Hurry. Do the colony pods.
Request confirmation.
25 to hurry here as well. Bodier. I think I'm gonna hurry this colony pod. Could put a base up the hill from Defense Command where it can work. The farm or rolling rainy tile next to itself.
Request confirmation.
Followed by another colony pod. Heck with it, I should hurry this. Free turn and wait is a little longer until I can increase mineral production. Planetary Trust. Cool. Ah, forest expands near the HQ.
Production complete. Production complete.
I was wondering why that come in so quickly. It's because of disengaged.
Project initiated.
Star in the weather paradigm, Planetary Trust. Forest expands. Where? Looks like here. Expanded out of the big fat cross. Well, I mean, cool. That'll eventually make it easier to defend around here. Once they can interrupt the xenofungus network. And the Unirover disengaged. We could go to the monolith and heal instantly. That's probably a good idea. Oh. Darn it. It only had one movement left. Gah! Thought I had two. I'll save before I do this, but pretty sure there's an autosave. This is year 2155. Game start 2100. Start this turn. Here we go. Go there. This mine worm can only move one tile. There's no xenofungus to connect it. This will enable the Unity rover to make it to this monolith heal, and then it can engage again. Of course, my one could go 1, 2, 3. So I'll move along and then no longer be in range. Cool. Need to move quickly though. If I get caught in the fungus trying to get back to civil rights, get attacked. So I could get attacked. I was gonna eventually want to remove that fungus and the fine moist tile. It's a perfect place for a farm solar collector. 2 food, 2 energy, 1 mineral. Support from here so that headquarters has higher mineral output. This colony pod. this uni rover. Defend here. Let's work on a mine. Hmm. So the scout patrol, make sure that alien artifact can't be attacked from the xenofungus there. Civil rights. New rover. Moving that there. No, there was a 1/30 chance it wouldn't succeed, but it did. Most mine worms that could attack this base would come from 1, 2. Yeah, they couldn't even reach civil rights in one turn. Unless they came from that direction. Have the scout patrol try moving the fungus because it had a full movement. It failed though. Boy. I guess 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Guess I want a road here anyways. In that case. Guess I'll eventually build base on the coast here, near the mouth of that river. Right. We'll base the top of the hill. This flat, moist tile. Should have it go by way of the farm. It's a little safer that way, though. This goes boom. Can make it this far next turn. Mine worm. Could go. Could actually attack at 1/3 strength. Guess you can move right into Xenofungus for a third movement, then go here, attack, or move to where I'd actually see it with the sensor array. Unless it went to this tile. A little further away. Anyways, turns to grow. Shouldn't have the alien artifact use it up yet because it's a last ditch defense. It might survive, whereas an undefended size 1 base will get wiped by mine worms for absolute certain. The scout patrols go this way, though. Try and actually be on the offensive against the mine worms. As much as I'd like to build a farm and a mine next to Planetary Trust, that area could be attacked by the mine worms. 1/3 strength, but formers are non-combat units. They suffer minus 50% strength unless they have armor, so it would actually be a 50-50 evenly matched fight. And it's 3rd strength mine worms, which, assuming these haven't leveled up, and actually I think they have at this point, so then it would actually be odds against the former. Instead, wonder if I can do a forest here. I don't actually want to do it. I just wanted to see if I could. Yeah, I can. I actually want the forest here. Because if I would want to work a tile, I wouldn't want to work the sense array as well. That would cause more eco damage. This tile also has a chance of growing onto this one, onto flat and rainy tile, and pushing the fungus back, whereas on the sense array, it can't grow to the east. Let's just leave
Turn complete.
the alien artifact on alert for the moment. This command is steadily growing. Headquarters is growing. Trust. Local. Okay. So the mine worm only moved 2 tiles when it could have moved 3. I guess it didn't want to be on the river. For whatever reason. This mine worm only damaged 10%, and I think it's leveled up. Odds are 40-21. It's larval mass. Interesting. I guess that was so if the other scout patrol attacked. I don't know. I'll just attack. Hope this works. Fingers crossed. It did. Nice. Hardened scout patrol. Guess the other scout patrol can go back to Planetary Trust. Try and keep that artifact safe. Yeah, also this tile to build a forest is not adjacent to fungus, except for the one that's guarded, so this former can't be attacked by mindworms where it's currently. It's a slightly risky move. Then I column there could be attacked. Actually, most dangerous after the base is built, because at least the colony pod can defend itself. Although its odds of winning are very low. Hmm.
Terraform complete.
Scout patrol failed to move again. Need to defend the UN civil rights. It's possible mindworms. If they came out of this tile, for instance, they could wipe the base out. This one that's I can't see. It's unlikely, but still, I don't want to lose that artifact, so do that. Yeah, and if movement fails, the base is defended. As well. You failed. Keep it in place. Yeah, this thing only has one movement because it's damaged. That's why. I was thinking it was because it would disengage, but it's actually because of the damage. Alright, now fully healed. And the mindworm can't reach it this turn, so your rover will have 2 movement, can then possibly even attack the mindworm next turn. Let's get this alien artifact to work on the Human Genome Project. Because if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't actually one turn it. Yeah. On a more expensive project. I was thinking like of great engineers, Sid 4, where they can one turn a lot of early wonders, but the alien artifacts are less powerful than that. It's been a while since I played this. Just one less unit to worry about, and there's very little chance at this point I would have wanted to do something else with the artifact. I've got artifact here. Planetary Trust, they'll go into weather paradigm, and I'll probably get both those secret projects, which will give me a chance to do reasonable against the Spartans in terms of relative economic growth rates. Not fall too behind. The monsoon jungle is a huge advantage. Huge. But keep up for a while. I have to go sharply to militarization of things at some point. And they just push so hard in building military units that even though the Spartans may actually have an economy that's slightly bigger, mine I can reach a stronger military in them for a little while and attack with it before I fall behind. Do the high military spending, which, by the way, if you know your history,
Bluestone, the drones need you.
one thing that
They look
inhibited
up to you.
the Soviet Union's long-term economic growth was high military spending to try and keep up with the U.S. and the threat, of the Cold War. It was actually about the same percent of GDP spent on the military as the United States, the Soviet Union, but their economy is a lot smaller. Smaller economies generally can't afford as high a outlay on military spending because there's a lot more important things economically and in terms of basic human needs aren't being met. The Soviet Union did as because they had a planned economy, they intentionally made sure there was very little investment in the production of luxury goods, consumer goods. Luxury and consumer goods are two different categories of things. Sorry if it wasn't clear how I was speaking. This is why people didn't have the cars in the Soviet Union were tough as hell, but not very nice. The clothes were pretty basic and stuff like that. Their economy was growing quickly, but it wasn't going into things like blue jeans and luxury cars. It was going into steel and cement and housing and healthcare and military production. Housing was, commune blocks are infamous. People don't like them. The Soviets actually wanted to build better quality housing, but after the enormous decimation from devastation, wrong word. Long COVID screws my brain up. From World War II, that was all they could really afford. And they actually had the fastest rate of urbanization ever seen in the Western Hemisphere. I forget, Moscow's Western Hemisphere, but one of the pretty much until that point, I think China has since exceeded them in rate of urbanization, but until that point was the fastest rate of urbanization ever seen, like faster in America or England during their Industrial Revolution. So they had a lot of farmers moving to cities, especially because their collective farms were more efficient. Collective farms produced less food relative to the amount of land, but they produced more food relative to the amount of workers. So unfortunately, they pursued this too aggressively, and it caused famines. In combination with the fact they were exporting surplus food to the British to buy industrial machinery in the 30s, that's what caused the Holodomor. Um, the food exports, even when the food situation was tight. But the British forbid the Soviets from paying gold for machinery. They would only accept food, timber, and metals as payment, which was kind of an enforced attempt to prevent the Soviets from industrializing. They declared that the gold reserves that had been seized from the Tsars were stolen gold and they wouldn't allow it to be used. It's insane. The British were pricks. The British caused the Bengal famine in India and created the first concentration camps in the world in Eastern Africa and in Southern Africa. They some areas north of South Africa, like Rhodesia became Zimbabwe. Yeah, the British set up concentration camps. They were evil shits. They actually pioneered stuff the Nazis copied. And they actually forbid food from being sold to the Soviet Union when the Great Famine, also known as the Holodomor, when it started. The Soviets tried to reverse the flow of food and actually buy food from the British. Actually, we're going to continue to honor their long-term contracts of exporting food. Um, but then at the same time that they were selling food, trying to buy food from the British and different food items too, like they would sell grain but buy potatoes um, and the British wouldn't let them import food, and in fact bullied other countries into not selling food because the British used famine genocide as a tool over and over. They did it with the Bengal famine. That was a man-made famine caused by Winston Churchill, who was an evil racist bastard. You should look into, if you're watching this, you should look into Winston Churchill's diaries. He's not the hero he's made out to be. He sympathized with the Nazis. He talked about Aryan supremacy and shit. He was an evil terrible human being who was made into a hero because the person who should have been the hero of the West after World War II, FDR, had done the New Deal, so a lot of conservatives didn't want to make him a hero because they didn't like the New Deal. So they made Winston Churchill a hero, even though FDR was the guy who really is the responsible for, in many ways, the Nazis being defeated. FDR and Stalin. Stalin, of course, had some very problematic things, so I can understand people don't want to make him a hero. But Churchill, Churchill was a prick who actually secretly helped work to sabotage things like the Soviets trying to form a defensive alliance with the Czechs before the Nazis did the incursion into the Sudetenland and taking over Czechoslovakia. The Soviets actually tried to form defensive alliances with the French and the Czechs, and the British sabotaged those attempts. The French actually signed the defensive alliance, but then there was a change in government, and the new government wouldn't honor it. But the British managed to prevent the Czechs from signing the agreement. This was such an embarrassment that Stalin got rid of his foreign minister, Maxim Leninov, and then hired Molotov, who's infamous for signing a mutual non-aggression pact with the Nazis and also dividing up Poland. That was a different foreign minister than the guy who tried to do the alliances with to defend the Czechs against the Nazis. Basically, the Soviets decided if we can't work with the West to contain the Nazis, then we'll work with the Nazis to divide up Eastern Europe. It's pretty ruthless, to say the least, but it's important to understand its context that it wasn't their original plan. At least that can be said for them. Yeah, the problems of the Soviet Union were human rights and doing ruthless shit like that, not that they couldn't have a functional economy. That's a myth that their economy was incapable of functioning. That's something that just socialism bad. Of course, the Soviet Union was not democratic socialism. It was very, in this game, it would be police state planned economy. Which, by the way, I think I explained that can lead to economic paralysis due to low efficiency. If you have children's creches, you can prevent it. Or if you use knowledge as a value, but it's actually a particularly dangerous combination. Or if you're the Gaians, you can run that as well. Just using our +1 efficiency for being Gaian. The Soviet Union, their economy was less efficient than that of the United States, but it was still actually, by most measures, actually quite efficient. There was less of a difference than is often claimed. Efficiency measured in terms of like if you invest money, how well is the money invested? Soviets had a higher long-term growth rate in the West, but that was partly because they invested a much higher proportion of their GDP into economic growth instead of luxuries for a handful of, billionaires who lived the high life. There were no billionaires in the Soviet Union, and the resources that freed up enabled them to invest more heavily in their economy. Their actual investments were a little more poorly chosen than under capitalism. It's just if you invest twice as much money at 90% the efficiency, and that's about what it was. Their investments are about 90%, 85% as efficient as those in the West. So not a huge difference. Then, yeah, you'll have faster growth. I don't know if there's a defensive bonus for this rocket train. I'm thinking about what to do with the scout patrol. But if I can get there, I can try and get it to this base soon, so there's no chance of it getting wiped out.
Turn complete.
Take a bit of a risk. Also, you know what? While this approaches, if I'm lucky, this will get there next turn. Do I want to send this? Yeah, the chance that formers being attacked isn't high and the calling pod's more valuable. Once it's defenseless
Turn
base,
complete.
I'll send a scout patrol here. Defend this base so that it can't be destroyed by Mindworm easily. Now, the Citizens Defense Force is a wonder I may eventually grab. People incorrectly think it's useless against Mindworms. They're wrong. It doesn't provide a perimeter defenses are useless in terms of combat bonuses against Mindworms. That is correct. But, and this is the thing that many people fail to realize, if a defenseless base, such as after the garrison is destroyed by Mindworms, is attacked by Mindworms, a perimeter defense will be destroyed before any other buildings are destroyed or any pops are lost. So, size, I don't remember, yeah, it's size 1 base, perimeter defense, no garrison, won't be destroyed, it'll lose its perimeter defense. It'll take a second Mindworm to destroy that base. Or size 2, it'll go. The first thing will happen is the perimeter defense gets destroyed. The second will be destroyed as a pop, reducing it to size 1. I think if there's other base facilities, one random base facility will be destroyed as well. And then the third Mindworm would destroy that size 2 base. You get the idea. So the Citizens Defense Force can effectively provide a second line defense after the garrisons for bases or allow you to run undefended bases near Xenofungus. The Hive gets essentially a free Citizens Defense Force and can do this as well. Just stick weakly or undefended bases near Xenofungus with impunity because they get a free perimeter defense every base. And then once that's destroyed, they would have to either rebuild the perimeter defense or they could run Citizens Defense Force if they've lost a lot of perimeter defenses that way. Get them back for free and deny the secret project to other factions that might get more mileage out of it. This is going to grow soon. This is working at mine. I want to make sure that when it grows, it works that mine as well. This is working that tile. This is working there, so when the mine's complete, instantly get the extra minerals. It's working there, so when that mine's complete. Cool, all good. Yeah, how much would it cost?
Confirmation.
With 3 energy more than if... shoot. Yeah, I didn't have the energy to rush this before, did I? How many energy do I make per turn? 5 a turn. So I had 38 energy last turn. Could have actually rushed this colony pod. Costs 12 more. Since 20 would have been 40. Could have done a partial. Would have just been 1 mineral shy. Shoot, should have done that. Should have done that. Essentially throw away 3. Nope, 7 nutrients. Because I didn't rush this calling pot last turn. What the hell are you gonna do?
Request confirmation. Request confirmation.
Suppose I should look for autosaves because I messed this turn up bad. Not bad, but I have to repeat this. That unit got a little more damage than before, but it'll be fine. Shoot. The other unit automatically went after that. Is that even worse than me? God. I hate repeating a turn like this, but at least that happened. This isn't the turn I need to repeat, is it? What? No, I need to repeat from this turn. There we go.
Insufficient energy.
Wait, we have 18 energy credits. Did I? Oh. Oh, yeah, I got 20 from the... I guess I didn't screw anything up. I'm sorry, my long COVID brain.
Turn complete.
Yeah, I didn't have the energy to rush this before. I got it from the mine worms. That's right. Okay. Sorry, my brain is like, oh, I screwed something up. I could have partial rush. No, I couldn't have partial rush because I didn't have the energy to partial rush. Well, that's reassuring. Don't have to kick myself over screwing something up. I didn't screw it up. There was no possibility of doing things otherwise. Let's do a former next. Take a small risk.
Production complete.
All right. Oh, well, yeah, I only threw away 3 nutrients. And I didn't have a choice, as I said, until I had that energy. But yeah, rushing that as soon as possible is a good thing, for sure. Keep rushing out these colony pods.
Complete.
Formers, because Well, actually, I probably want a colony pod, not formers, for another base. By the time I can build the colony pod, I'll be size 2 at least. There. Right then. Where am I going to build this colony? There's an argument for building that flat and waste tile. Could work a forest or two. There's an argument for building here on the coast. Yeah, I want to try and kill this miner first. Hope it works. Nice. In which case, getting to the coast here isn't so dangerous. Maybe I'll pop a base in this arid tile to work. This sensor tile, 2 food, 2 nutrients. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. What should I call this base? Monitoring agency. Because it's going to monitor the border with the Spartans. And yeah, and here, I didn't end up doing a hydrology thing there. Naming a base near Planetary Trust. I know what I'll name this. UN Hydrology Council. Because I may name something hydrology agency up here. It's a reference to the rivers, which is a reminder to myself that's why I want bases. Redundant agencies. UN style bureaucracy. In theory, it's not actually a terrible idea if they have solely different roles, and if one agency is not working well for one reason or another, it can be eliminated. Its dues given to the other agency, and then potentially that agency can be divided back up somewhere down the line. A way to get rid of bad leaders or toxic institutional cultures by having another agency that does a similar thing. They can usurp those duties. If you want an actually functional government, that can be, useful to have that kind of redundancy. It's not something most people are familiar with the idea of because it's all government is bad, government is the enemy. It's utterly ridiculous. But, rolling. I no longer have to worry about the mine worm catching up there. Oh, but I'd still want to go here. Just to, help this unit beeline. That makes sense. There we go. Made it in. I don't want this to be a designated defender anymore. I remove primary designate defender. Oh, when you do it twice, it removes it. Okay, good, because this unit's damaged, and there's a full health scout patrol there, which I'd want to be a primary defender. Scout patrol suffers some collateral damage if the more full health one is destroyed. At least there's no chance of mine worm picking off a damage unit immediately. I do have other units I can pull in. In that case, with the scout rover or the scout patrol. Speaking of which, send this scout patrol to this monolith for a morale upgrade. And surprisingly, that movement failed. Education agency? No. I have a name. Mountain Command. Like for training elite mountaineers. I cannot neglect my military, and this is a reminder of that with the Spartans right next door. Defense Command, Mountain Command. Mountain Command is up the mountain from Defense Command. You know what? Use this to try and pre-move into this rolling rainy tile. By the time it succeeds, the formers will likely be there, and if not, I can always it won't take too long. Prioritize cutting another tile out of the fungus over going vertical. Also, because this isn't the Big Fat Cross of the World Health Organization, which... No. Shoot, actually, here... maybe I do want to do the farm mine before. I don't know. this Uni rover, go to UN Civil Rights. Scout rover. Defend this former. This former is more exposed in this one, so it makes sense. Oops. Whoopsie daisy. Well, Scout rover can sit here. So there's a chance of mine worms appearing here and need to someone send a unit to go deal with them. Being on the road network helps. This thing can still lure mine worms to attack it if something comes out of the xenofungus there. Over the Uni rover, which doesn't cost upkeep, so I'd rather lose the Scout rover. Alright. Hour 9 minutes, so I probably want to cut this video soon. Do my best to produce lots of content for you guys, but gotta remember to keep in individual videos from getting too long. Let's see if this. Nope. There's a chance that Scout Patrol could make it turn early into the base. And just sit there to heal. But I have no real reason for it to end its turn on this sensor array. But it's still useful guarding the formers there. Alright.
Turn complete.
It's funny. I was trying to look up some stuff about this game. I was seeing people say criticism, oh, the game starts with an exciting early game and then devolves to micro. I have to remind people, if you don't like the micro, just set the governors to handle stuff. Sure, it won't do as well as you do, but you can just turn the difficulty down. They're letting their pride in beating higher difficulty settings overcome, their peace of mind and enjoyment of the game by playing lower difficulty with more automation. And if the automation is suboptimal. Indeed, I might turn some automation soon, even though this is a little higher difficulty. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll make for a more exciting game if I micro everything, I'm almost sure to win, even with this start with the Spartans being in the jungle. If I have the governors handle things, well, with this start, I might actually have a real challenge. Excuse me. Just looking at stuff because I like to know when I might be able to hurry stuff.
Insufficient energy.
208. How many minerals are left? It's so small you can't really see. Doesn't tell me. By the way, increases terraforming speed by 50% for all tasks except for remove fungus. Your formers may build condensers and boreholes. It may raise or lower terrain even if you have not yet discovered the appropriate technologies. That's the weather paradigm. It does. Anyhow, let's go.
Complete.
Commands making scout patrols. Oh, yeah, let's do this. I've been putting it off. Oh. Yeah, I could save a laser squad. That's not what I came here to do, but, eventually. Right now, recon rovers, you can see cost 20. Same cost as a laser squad, but it moves faster. Laser squads as infantry have an attack bonus when attacking bases, but otherwise, this is better. In fact, rovers have a speeders have a common bonus when attacking an open terrain. This terrain that doesn't have a forest or xenofungus or base or bunker. I forget. I think that's now in Crossfire. That's the bunkers, or maybe it's the basic game. Can check that at least. No, bunkers. They're in the base game. So yeah, or rocky terrain, but I'm pretty sure rolling or flat, wide open terrain. Anyways, recon rovers are a much better unit to be producing. That's the point. Laser squads I have no real use for right now. I think it automatically marked. Oops, wrong thing. The scout rover obsolete. Nope, did not. Why does it show up in green? Oh, they all show up in green. Oops. Also, the recon rover will pro-tip lasers, so the first one will cost more but have higher veterancy. Which, cool. Against mine worms producing green units, not a great idea. I'd rather produce discipline units, turn them into hardened units, and have a decent chance of winning most of the time, even on defense. Right, now these guys were just produced. Whoopsie daisy. Alright, that I have to fix.
Turn complete.
I forgot to support this unit from here. There we go. That's important. I don't think I designed the recon rover yet. Done. Why is it going right to warning preferences? This is a good time to stop it, I think. Save. Right. Saves. Guess we'll turn over again. Won't hurt.
production complete.
Make sure there's no events that happen or anything like that. All right. Well, I hope you folks enjoyed this video. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves, and may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Until next time, it's Northstar. Adieu, and best luck to you all.